Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. Do you know what? Last night is really catching up on me. Anyway, from the depths of the Manchester United dressing room, we hear there was a worse confrontation than we had between Bex and Sir Alex with Bootgate because apparently Jose Mourinho calls Paul Pogba a virus, among other things. Let me ask you a question. How comes we know what happened in the changing room, right? Because Jose has leaked it via the media purposely. Because what does Jose like to do when there's an issue with a result? Find a scapegoat. One time it's been Martial, then it's been this one, that one. It's back to Pogba again. He said a lot of things. He blamed him for so many things. And now let me tell you what I think of Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba, clearly a world-class player, but he just hasn't shown that at Manchester United. But this goes beyond a player who hasn't reached his potential at Manchester United. This is about a manager who's failed to get the best out of him because all he sees for attacking players is negative positions, negative tactics, putting the shackles on, and in the end, creative players get frustrated. Last week, he was saying that he tells the players to attack, and they don't. He's a liar. He will say anything to defend his position. He don't care what the media think or what we think. He cares what the board think, because he knows he's in trouble, and he is in trouble. Now, if he doesn't get the sack before the Arsenal game, which I think is on Wednesday, if I'm right, okay, he's going to get the sack after that game. Wednesday, after that game, the nightmare will be over. But this kind of big story that Pogba and him have had a bust up just makes me laugh. Because we know that Jose's got friends in the media, like all managers have. But this guy's results are so bad that he keeps on creating so much spin. And every week that spin works and he gets away with not getting the sack. So this time, he's deflecting a bad result, a bad performance, focusing on one player, focusing our attention on one player. So while we should be criticising him and his tactics and his failures in year 3, we're focusing on Paul Pogba. Ooh, that Paul Pogba, 89 million, hasn't done it. Everybody forgets that Jose Mourinho's transfer record at the club is terrible, that he has spent £400 million and achieved nothing. He brought Mkhitaryan in, then swapped him basically for Sanchez, who's done nothing. He brought in 2 defenders for just over 60 million and barely played them. All of a sudden, he started playing Lindelof, and Lindelof proved how good he was. Now Lindelof is injured. If he's not just holding him back, who knows? Who knows what this lunatic is doing? My advice to you, Manchester United fans, is not to kind of swallow the goat, take the bait. This is just deflectory tactics. So you're not thinking about him and you're not bringing the board's attention to him. But the reality is here, he's finished. He is finished. This isn't good for him. A manager fighting with players in the dressing room, in the public persona. Of course managers fall out with players all the time after games in the dressing room. Of course they do. The point is we don't know about it. It's kept behind closed doors. And this is one of my biggest gripes with this manager. Nothing is behind closed doors. He throws people under the bus. He hangs people out to dry. And it's not classy. And the man is an emotional hooligan. That's the terms I'm looking for. The man shouldn't even be managing this club. He shouldn't even be managing any professional outfit. We need to let this man go and we can move on. I bet you any money if Zidane was our manager, Pogba would be playing some great stuff. You know it and I know it. Same with Martial. Martial's inconsistent. Everyone's inconsistent because of this manager. First of all, you don't know if you're going to play from one week to the next. And then he'll play you out of position. You don't know where you are. He doesn't play the same team every week. And, I hate going back to this, but his favourites, he's got his favourites who he never criticises. Right, Pogba couldn't score in a... Not Pogba. What's his name? Lukaku couldn't score in a brothel, but he kept on playing. Yes, he scored last night, but then was tackled by a ball. So look, Lukaku's useless. He shouldn't be playing him. I don't care if he scored a goal. Anyone could have scored that goal. Let's be honest about it. The thing is here that's really got me, and the only reason I'm doing this video, because I did my thoughts about last night's game. The only reason I'm talking about this is because I heard about these names and this argument that he was involved with Paul Pogba. And as I say, he's leaked that. He wants us to know about it, so we blame Paul Pogba for being unprofessional. But how long? And, you know, to be fair to Pogba, right, he might not play very well, but he's been quite honest in the past, and it cost him the captaincy. He's talking about attack, attack, attack. Yes, because even the players are frustrated. Even the players want him out. The players haven't down tools. They're following his crappy tactics, and that's why we can't get results. That's why we can't win games. Who cares if we came back from 2-0 down against a third from bottom side? What does that matter? The point is, this man is a disease to this club. People say, why don't the board just sack him? Because the board obviously need to bring someone in, and maybe they're working on that. I don't know what the plan is. Maybe it's true what people say, that they're waiting for it to be mathematically impossible to qualify for the top 4. Or maybe it's even worse than that. Maybe in their stunted little minds, they're hoping that we can get into the back door of the Champions League through winning the Champions League. Now that scares me, and that should scare you. Because if Manchester United Football Club are that pathetic to think that Manchester United under Jose Mourinho can win the European Cup, we're all in trouble. The only decision to make here is to sack this man, especially after this argument that he's leaked out, because it's ridiculous. Calling him a stain on the club, the players, the fans, you know, ridiculous thing. You know, he's blaming one player for that result. Yes, Paul Pogba made a bad error that nearly cost us a goal. He's not playing well. I've said that. He hasn't fulfilled his potential. We need to see better from him. And if you want to drop the guy for not playing well, drop him. But isn't it funny that no one apart from the goalkeeper is playing well? Why is that? Is that a coincidence? Are all these players down in tools are not good enough? No. All these players are inconsistent because this manager has shackled them and put pressure on them. You can see it in Rashford's face when he's got a chance in front of goal. He knows if he misses that chance, he could be dropped. Imagine being dropped because you miss a chance or miss a pass. Now, Rash played fantastic last night. Fantastic young player. Beautifully professional player. He's a great guy. But how much can young players take? You know, he played the lot in the last 10 minutes just to say that I gave a young player a debut. It's pathetic. It's childish. We know you're not into young players. We know you don't really want to play them. We know that you want to, like, buy the whole of Dad's army and play them in every position, Jose. The reality is here, whatever bullshit this guy is saying, it's time to stop chomping on it. It's time for this man to leave this club, to leave our club. Nobody believes in this man, not really. And a few fools that do believe in him, that's up to them. But the reality is here, the main proportion understand that this man is wrong for our club. And he's not just wrong for our club, he's wrong for any club. His time has come, right, to go. We now know he's a fraud. We now know it's Rui Ferreira who was doing the tactics and winning the trophies. And he was just the gob. He was just the entertainer in the press conferences. Isn't it amazing how things work out? Why did Ferreira leave? Did Ferreira leave because he fell out with Jose? Or did the club unknowingly realise that he was the brains behind the outfit and get rid of him? Maybe they thought he was the problem. Maybe Jose hung him out to dry so he didn't get the sack. Who knows? But it's come back to haunt Jose, hasn't it? Because now the whole of the footballing community knows that Rui Ferreira is a great coach and Jose Mourinho is a fraud. Hey, sack Mourinho and bring Ferreira back. Why not? It can't get any worse, can it? And I think someone said this on the phone in the other day I was watching. I think it's on the United Stand. Love that channel, by the way. But I just think it doesn't matter who you bring in. Because whoever you bring in is better than what we've got. Because what we've got is this negative kind of tone around the club of a man who will do anything for his own personal survival, while everything else, it's like acid rain, right? There's going to be one person trying to run away and protect themselves from the acid rain, even using someone else as a barricade, right? And that's who Jose Mourinho is. He just cares about himself. He doesn't care about this club. When he was fucking up at Chelsea, I genuinely believed it was because his heart was broke because United wouldn't have him there. I even heard a rumour that he cried when he couldn't get the United job. I thought he must really want to be with us, and that's why he's not doing it at Chelsea. I naively thought that. And when he came to us, I thought, this is it. This is his dream job. But in the opening presser, he didn't act like this was his dream job. I think the man's gone. I think the man's finished. And I don't want Manchester United to be his shrink, his counsellor. He needs help. He needs to see someone, and he needs to leave our club.